I'm Jess.
And I'm Wes.
I'm Jess.
And I'm Wes.
I'm Jess.
And I'm Wes.
We are the National Wrestling Clipping Alliance. I am Jess.
And I'm Wes.
We are the National Wrestling Clipping Alliance, and you are watching the NWCA podcast, the only podcast that doesn't just talk wrestling history. We show history. Wes, we are back. We are back, and we are finally doing this.
I know
After
it's so
months.
big. It's so big. We are so excited to be bringing this to everybody. What a podcast this is going to be, talking about the Nature Boys in Ontario.
That's right.
A big, huge history kind of lesson, plus is one of our favorites. So what can we say?
Exactly. Before we dive into this episode, a couple things I want to bring up. Number one, thank you for everyone who's watched our last couple episodes. We have been pumping them out. The World Cup of Wrestling. We did Texas WWF in 1991. We put up a video of our thoughts on Vince McMahon retiring, and now we're doing a two-parter, possibly three, on the Nature Boys of Ontario. And again, I just want to thank all the subscribers, everyone who's given us a chance and watched our episodes, giving us feedback, commenting. You can find us on Facebook, the official National Wrestling Clipping Alliance group. You have the Ontario Wrestling Clippings of the Past and the Wildman tribute page. Wes, I know you got to add some stuff to this too.
We're so excited. I'm just trying to look up the numbers here. Hang on a sec. Jesse. We've got close to 2,600 views. 2,600 on our tiny little podcast here. Our little yip yap about professional wrestling history, where we don't just yip yap about it, we show it. So we're going to be showing you things like this. I'm not going to tell you who that is right now, but this is so exciting. Jesse, I have to commend you on the new Facebook front pages. It's really, really cool. I like the black. Looks good. The black and red look really good together. And we have to keep evolving to a certain extent to keep ourselves fresh, to keep ourselves new. And I'm going to speak with you about this before, talking about changing the Wildman page up too. So we'll get to that in a minute. Yeah, the Wildman, Ontario Wrestling Clippings of the Past, and the official National Wrestling Clippings Alliance Facebook page. It's just awesome.
Things are looking up for us, and we just love doing this. And which brings us to our episode today. Wes, we had a concept about doing an episode of maybe someone who shares a nickname or the same name, and we're like, but what would we do? And we said, well, technically, there's two Nature Boys. And both of those Nature Boys actually had a huge impact on this province.
They did.
In professional wrestling. So our concept was, okay, well, let's do it all. And yes, call me out on it right now. We've been talking about it. Oh, we're going to do it. We're going to do it. We're going to do it. But it would have been a 6 to 7 hour episode. So we had to try to confine everything. And now we're down to maybe 2-3 parts of this Nature Boys of Ontario episode. And right now you're watching the Nature Boys of Ontario Part 1, Buddy Rogers.
Yeah, Buddy Rogers. We were so excited when we thought about this. It was like a dream come true to put these two guys together and then focus on in Ontario. Now we could have obviously focused on New Jersey or Philadelphia or somewhere else that they both appeared, but we're good with Ontario because we have a lot of background on that. We have a lot of information on that. We have a lot of research already done in Ontario on these guys, and with some help from other people, we've done a pretty interesting job. And Jesse, you've outdone yourself again on the script. Not the script. We don't have a script as such. We have
a facts and
research guideline, yes, that we go by, because we're just winging it. Because all we are is we're just wrestling fans talking about wrestling.
Yeah, not gonna lie, gonna have to call out our boy AC from Maple Leaf Wrestling, blogspot.com. Huge help with my research, answered all my questions, and a lot of the stuff that he told me today through the time of putting this together is straight facts from the man himself. So I'm like, all right, let's do this. It's so amazing to actually talk about two significant guys in history and just look back in hindsight and realize the impact, but in different ways and in different eras that both Buddy Rogers and Ric Flair had in the province of Ontario.
I think the impact is massive. Yes, we couldn't confirm how many matches Rogers had in Ontario. We just couldn't. Unfortunately, I know he wrestled in Cornwall when he was working in Montreal. He wrestled in Ottawa when that was part of Tunney and Montreal's give and take place. Obviously in Toronto, he may have Rogers may have wrestled in Hamilton, doing a TV maybe once when he was the National Wrestling Alliance World Heavyweight Champion. We just there's some things you just can't do. We just and we can't talk about all this because we'd never finish. Having said that, these two guys, we never saw Rogers live, obviously, because he retired way before, and he never came up here on his last run with the National Wrestling Alliance in the Mid Atlantic Championship era. But we're talking about a guy that was so popular because he was hated so much. He was an arrogant piece of what star, massive star, the biggest
No,
star.
I actually don't know what piece of what, Wes. Like, I'm kind of confused. Like nowadays, a piece of what could be anything.
It could be. It could be something that.
A piece of that beautiful NWCA mug. There's our plug. Bum bum bum. Anyways,
I like it. It's nice. And the logo turned out really, really nice, but the business cards, they didn't look the same. So they're okay. You'll see them when you get them. There's nothing wrong with them. It's just
they're on the way.
They're on their way. So we could talk about these guys and say how much we like them or not like them. But yeah, we're focusing on Ontario, and that's some information that it's so old school now. It's kind of out of context completely. Buddy Rogers wrestling here in the 50s or whatever, right? It's so long ago, but we're going to do the best we can to show pictures, show images, and do our regular NWCA podcast on the Nature Boys.
Yeah. You know what? You are right. It is old school, but you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to hit us with some facts about Buddy Rogers, and then maybe we'll talk about that. And then, like Wes said, we are not talking about Buddy Rogers' career as a whole or Ric Flair's as a whole. Ric Flair started wrestling in like the early 60s, and he literally just had last match. It would take us hours and days to do. We are only focusing on Ontario, Canada, and it's still going to be great and fully packed of info. And speaking of info, let's go. Buddy Rogers, born February 20th, 1921 in New Jersey. Rogers is a 13-time world champion. He was the first ever WWF champion. That's the WWE for all the modern fans. I know, look at Wes's face. He's like, who cares? He made the figure four leg lock famous, from my understanding. The figure four leg lock became famous through Buddy Rogers.
It did indeed.
And of course, you can't count that Buddy Rogers is considered one of the best NWA stars of all time.
A great heel, a great talent. He played the cheater, kind of mean guy, but he wasn't vicious or anything. He just played. He was a cheater. He liked to cheat. a lot of his matches that we've seen on YouTube have been, he would definitely behind the ref's back use the ropes to pin someone. And we'll get on to that after. But yeah, that I remember being a young fan, and everybody knew about Buddy Rogers. We never saw him. He was still prominent in the magazines to a certain extent, but he was very, very famous. And one of the reasons why he was so famous was because of his name, Nature Boy. Nature Boy was given to him by, they said, Fred Kohler out of Chicago, and originally Nature Guy, but changed it to Nature Boy because at the time there was a very popular song by Nat King Cole called Nature Boy. And it's a great song. I love Nat King Cole, great singer. But
yeah, I have no idea who that is.
yeah, well, one day you look up Nature Boy by Nat King Cole. So you have to watch this, write it down.
Watch this. Johnny, put that in the corner to look that up on a streaming line. Look that up on your watch now. I have Spotify. I'll look it up right now if I had to.
So yeah, he was he has a long career. Started like in, as far as I know, late 40s, mid 40s, I should say, and became ridiculously famous. So that even a half a generation after he had stopped wrestling, he was still such a recognized name. And I'm gonna post some things on the after show, the pictures and everything of, there was a famous orchestra leader and actor in Hollywood at the time. He was very popular. His name was Buddy Rogers, and he was there, Buddy Rogers first. And they sued each other for the name of Buddy Rogers. And which is strange in these days, a professional wrestler with the stature of Buddy Rogers, and then this Buddy Rogers, the actor, band, orchestra leader, the stature of both these guys would have been pretty high. So you would have think it would have been a high-level court case, suing, money turning back and forth. You owe me $1 million. No, I owe you $1 million, and back and forth. And at one point in time, I think it was 1950, Buddy Rogers, the wrestler, said he would not use the Nature Boy. He would use Nature Boy, but he wouldn't use Nature Boy Buddy Rogers anymore in his description of his self as a wrestler. But he just kept on going. Didn't make any difference. And there was no money exchanged. They sued each other, but worked out of court.
Really, eh?
Yeah.
I didn't know that. That's actually kind of cool.
And it's strange because they were both high-profile people. This guy was a famous actor and a famous band leader, musician kind of guy, and from Hollywood. And we'll be posting pictures on that so you can see and read about that.
Yeah, that's actually pretty cool.
That's because what we do. That's what we do.
Rogers debuted, in my research, in 1951 here in Ontario, Canada. But when I told you that, you said your research says otherwise. You want to go off that a bit?
Yeah, it's strange because I helping out Jamie Greer right now, who's writing a book on the history of professional wrestling in Windsor, Ontario, Canada, which is right across the river from Detroit, Michigan. And some of his research leads us to believe that Rogers did appear in Windsor in May of 1949. And I'm like, whoa, that's like a long time before 1951. But it was in Windsor. It was like that back in 1950, 49, 50, 51. No one knew what was going on 100 miles away from each other. People didn't read the Windsor newspaper or anything. And we do have a clip of that. We'll show that up later.
Yeah.
And he was wrestling against Billy Darnell, who was one of his guys that traveled the circuit with him. He traveled with a lot of guys, the same guys, out of Ohio back in this time. And he traveled with the same guys. So he was going to places like Windsor or maybe somewhere in New York State or Ohio or Pennsylvania. He was wrestling the same guy all around the circuit, one or two guys that traveled with him.
Yeah. That's actually, wow. A lot of guys did that, eh?
Yes.
It's just what they did.
4 guys in a car, and they just did the circuit, and maybe 2 guys.
Like, didn't the Sheik work against like one of the guys in the ring crew or something like that?
Who? What?
The Sheik work against somebody in the ring crew in Detroit?
Well, I don't know.
Could have swore he had somebody on his own crew, so I'm trying to make the same relevance.
Oh, Mike Lauren. Yeah. Yeah. It was his security guy, driver /
Yeah,
wrestler /
you know what I mean? Like work within the circle.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's kind of neat though. Rogers would leave and not return until 1956. It's a pretty big gap, but he came and he faced the legendary Whipper Watson, who was the champion at the time, Wes.
Yep.
Let's put some relevancy on this for the modern fans. You have Whipper Watson, the king of the 50s.
King of the 50s, King of Canada, yep.
Like, biggest star. He's the Stone Cold Steve Austin in Toronto, for all those guys. And, like, if you want relevance and comparison, I'm trying to pick big names, right?
And you got to, if you pick Steve Austin, you pick the perfect persona, because Steve Austin was bigger than life, whether he was a rule breaker or a good guy or whatever. Watson's persona was that big, but he was always the baby face.
Yeah, he was
squeaky clean.
Yeah, that's it. Never a heel, not once. It's funny that Whipper would beat him in Toronto, but then of course lose in St. Louis.
Yeah,
it's kind of weird. Like when we did the podcast with Andy, he asked me when Watson bought into Maple Leaf Wrestling and then St. Louis.
Yeah,
and I'm sure he bought into Maple Leaf Wrestling first.
Of course.
Right, of course, right? Because then Frank Tunney can introduce you, and then there you go, right? You get into St. Louis. But in '56, did he have shares in St. Louis at that time?
I don't think he was that early, but it could have been. I'm beginning to think that it would have been just after that, because he would have held his first title in 49 or whatever it was. The date escapes me right now, but I can't see that happening until maybe later on in the 50s. But I could completely be wrong.
Yeah. Well, regardless of the fact, he lost to St. Louis, but I mean, you're talking Buddy Rogers at this time for the NWA is just, come on, like, it's cash cow.
He's the champ, yeah. And then the program would have been written in stone, for sure, by Sam Muchnick, and they would have known exactly what was going on, how long Rogers was going to hold the title, how long he wasn't, just like Watson, just like everybody else, right? It was a committee that decided these things. It was a backroom decision. It was never an in-ring decision.
Yeah, ring-in decisions. We'll get on that later. Just want to take a second here, Wes. If you want to learn more about Whipper Watson, Wes and I did an episode on our old podcast, Ontario Wildman. We had 2 parts to do that. And we just did one with our friend Andy the Taxman on his Grappling with Canada. So check that out on YouTube if you want to see Wes and I talk more about Whipper Watson with another great historian, Andy, our new friend, Andy.
Andy did a fantastic job on that podcast. That was so much fun being on there, and I learned so much. Oh my God. It was great.
Yeah. Read his article.
It was fun to be on, you and I to be on, but not on together.
Yeah, it was like, that was the first time we've ever done that.
Yeah.
Really. So
we're available for other people's podcasts, and we don't charge very much at all. So if anyone wants to, watches this and
you charge?
How do you think I got this cup, man? This cup costs $7.
Damn it, man. I'm drinking 99-cent Coke over here. I need those big bottles over there. Okay. Rogers also in 56, he did a tag team thing, like program, I should say. Team program. His tag partner being Gene Kiniski against Whipper Watson and Pat O'Connor. Whoop, timeout. We got to put some, like, you're talking 2 of the biggest heels of all time as a tag team right now.
It's strange to see these. When I looked at this on the piece of paper, I was like, no, this can't be. Rogers and Kiniski, come on, give me a break. Kiniski could. We don't even have to go on and talk about Kiniski because he's.
Well, we did an episode on Kiniski, so
Yeah.
if you want to know, go back on our page and check out our Gene Kiniski episode.
So, but obviously this would be fantastic. 4 world champions in the ring in a tag team, like 4, not 3, not 2, not one guy. All 4 of these guys wore that strap around their waist, and the wrestling talent in that ring that night would have been so awesome. I bet any money that match went 2 out of 3 falls, and I bet it was 45 minutes long, easy, 48 minutes till curfew.
Bro, I didn't even put perspective on the fact that that match has 4 NWA champions in it. I just realized that. Holy shit. Yeah. So there you go. That's a huge match hitting the Gardens.
The tenure, if you added up all the time these guys had held the belts, it'd be thousands and thousands of days of defending the most prestigious wrestling title in the world at the time.
Mm-hmm. That's insane. It's weird to see. You are right. It's kind of weird seeing Rogers and Kiniski, but you know there are weird tag teams like Eddie Graham and Sam Steamboat.
Rick's dad.
Yeah.
It boils down to what happens.
Someone's gonna believe you.
What happens when a promotion is hot and a promotion is making money and they can bring these guys in? You could never bring these guys in without knowing that you're going to sell the building out and pay for them, because these guys were like probably at the time $500 each.
No. Probably you're talking the NWA champion, so that's probably a percentage of the gate.
Yeah, probably.
Right. Sheik used to charge 10%.
Yeah, and
10 grand a night, just off the gate.
Yeah.
Sorry, I need water. I'm getting excited over here.
That's huge. I didn't even know that existed until I looked at this piece of paper. That's so huge. I love it. I love thinking about that. I love seeing stuff like that too. Something that kind of just basically blows your mind, wrestling wise.
Yeah, relax, okay? It's a family show.
Not blowing anything.
He also had some pretty insane title defenses, Wes. You know, against names like Bruno Sammartino, Whipper Watson, and Bulldog Brower. Now, let's take a moment here. Bruno Sammartino pretty much got his start in Ontario.
He became famous here. He became a draw. He earned a bit of his wrestling
background
ropes here because of Frank Tunney took him in when he got kicked out of New York. Obviously went back there and turned into the super Italian superhero that he was. Not a fan, but that's okay. Rogers and Sammartino, it's like they were a
WWF dream match. One of the history matches.
The Northeast, they were it. Because because of the build up, and B, because of the mystique around the actual change of title, right? Mm-hmm. Bruno wins in 43 seconds. 43 seconds, like.
Yeah, but hold on a sec. Time out. We're putting some perspective on this. Wes is talking about the WWF title change.
Yes.
And how Bruno Sammartino beat Buddy Rogers in 45 seconds. Wasn't Buddy Rogers like injured in the hospital like the day before? And he's like, I'm not dropping the title to Bruno.
Yeah, and that's the story.
And he showed up, and then Sammartino's like, listen, man, we can do this the easy way, or we do the hard way. Yeah. And he straight up just shot on him. Straight shoot.
Picked him up, backbreaker. There you go. Done.
Yeah, well, congratulations, you beat an injured man. Come on, Rogers. He's in the hospital, man.
Rogers was so cool though because he had that awesome strut. He was always tanned up really good. He looked pretty good physically. Wasn't the biggest guy in the world, but he looked. I always thought that he looked like a real stud, like a real man's man,
like a champion.
Yeah, I guess that's the word. Yeah, it's a great physique, not overly muscular, but great physique. He could wrestle. And he didn't mind bleeding. and he had the fabulous strut, and was just a great heel. But he wasn't like a super heel. He wasn't like I said, a crazy man or anything. He was just a heel, just a bad guy who people love to hate.
It's weird to see him though go against title defense against Bulldog Brower, because I'm so used to seeing Brower as a heel until later in his career when he started teaming with like Whipper Watson and stuff.
Yeah. I don't know the time frame of that match. We don't have it written down, but Brower and I think Brower and Rogers wrestled in London, Ontario, also around that. Like they probably went from either London to Toronto or Toronto to London, and then out down to towards Detroit.
I checked all my London stuff in my files. I couldn't find on it.
Okay.
Nothing, dude. All those London clippings is all Sweet Daddy Siki and stuff, but like
a few Kiniski matches, but I'm just thinking I saw it once, but I could be probably wrong, but yeah, the Brower Brower was he was a tweener. He could go back and forth, and which he did a lot. I mean, when he was in Toronto, what would happen if they were low on heels? Watson and Brower would be teaming, and they'd have some sort of an altercation in their match, which turned Brower into the heel, and then he's got like 17 matches against Whipper in different connotations, right?
Yeah, I wonder, Wes, if Dave ever approached Rogers to come work for him.
Wait, would never.
Not even at the tail end?
No. Well, Rogers was done.
The Sheik was 78 in Sarnia taking fucking punches.
But Rogers was, when Rogers last appeared in about, I think it was about 1979 in Mid-Atlantic when Flair and him did wrestle against each other.
Yeah.
He could only do either 2-man or 3-man or 4-man tag team matches.
Really?
He all he was doing was going in for the strut and the finish.
The strut. I forgot about the strut.
Yeah.
He invent that strut, or he take that from somebody else?
He probably took it from somebody else, but it was awesome. He was so colorful. Yeah.
Yeah, I just strutted on our show. Strut. Wes, come on. Strut across the camera, Wes. Let's see the Wes Ric Flair strut. Oh. Okay, this guy.
We go backwards and forwards in reverse. No, I'm not a strutter.
This guy, yeah, no, I mean, a little drunk line dancing maybe, but
I don't do line dancing either.
no. Did Buddy Rogers woo?
Buddy Rogers what?
Woo!
No.
Okay, so we do have a difference then.
Yes.
So far, the first, I'm writing that down. First difference, no wooing.
No wooing.
Well, it's true, because if you really think about it, Ric Flair used the figure 4 leg lock. Nature Boy Ric Flair.
Yeah.
Right? The strut, right? Flair even says he loved Buddy Rogers, even with the robes, no?
Yep.
So there you go, right?
They professional wrestling as we know it has evolved from, we can't put a name on the first person who wore a colorful robe. And it evolved, and someone saw something in someone else, and that's how Gorgeous George got his start. He saw different things in different people and decided to change it up. And then from him begat. Like George, you could actually go George, Rogers, Flair, and then pick someone after that that's as effervescent as those guys were, right?
No, exactly.
Yeah.
All right, let's get some clippings here, Wes. This is what people come to see. So let's do it. We talked a bit about his career in Ontario, some guys he faced. Let's get into it. I found this right off the bat, September 7th, 1961. So I'll show you that. Buddy Rogers versus Farmer Townsend.
Yeah. Okay. Farmer Townsend was he liked to sing during his matches, or before or after match. Not when he lost. When he lost, though, I don't think he sang. He probably just skulked back to the dressing room. But
that's funny.
Big guy in Ontario, but basically He must have been talented enough to be in the main events, but yeah,
Yeah.
whatever.
Well, it's funny too, because when I'm looking at this, notice that Whipper Watson and Bulldog Brower are headlining the show.
Yeah.
So there, it just gives you. Sorry, go ahead.
Who's the pitcher?
The picture on the top is Buddy Rogers.
Okay.
Picture is Whipper.
Oh, okay. I see that.
Yeah. It says here, Whipper Billy Watson did everything right last night, but win his bout from Bulldog Mr. Growl Brower before a crowd of 9,511 excited fans at the Maple Leaf Gardens. Almost 9,500 people went to see this match.
Yeah, that's not that much considering Rogers and Watson were on the card.
Yeah, Lord Athol Layton was on the card against Carl Kalmikoff, Stan Stasiak, and Man Mountain Campbell versus Hurricane and Cyclone Smith. So
I met the Smith brothers.
Did you?
Yeah. At a book signing. No, one of them was ill. They couldn't make it.
Oh, okay.
Cyclone Smith, I think. And no offense against the guys, but they weren't too much. Although they were going to grow their hair long and bleach it, and they were going, I think, to California before they retired and wrestle as the Georgie twins or something like that.
Really?
And then one of them had a heart attack or something and couldn't go. They both had full-time jobs in Hamilton, steel workers.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Steel Town, bro.
Yep.
Here it said an added feature will be a world title belt with Buddy Rogers, who took the honors from Pat O'Connor in Chicago before 38,000 people. So you want to talk about Pat O'Connor teaming with Whipper Watson, who main events this match, teaming with the greatest Canadian athlete? 38,000 people, boy.
$100,000 gate. I think that was a $150,000 gate in Chicago at the Soldier Field or a big baseball diamond. And
you know the event I'm talking about.
Yeah. That's the 1961 Fez beating or Rogers beating O'Connor. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. That's huge, big news. I'm not just another pretty face.
Yeah. Just not another bald head in the senior's home, eh, bud?
What? Get off my
All right. You got something to show? You want to go?
No, I have nothing to show. Everything's on my phone today.
Okay.
Oh, I'm sorry. Yes.
Yeah. Show
Sorry.
that.
Nice magazine from November 1947. It's the Ring magazine, and there was it's mostly boxing, but it does have some wrestling in it. And the back is the same ad they ran for Charles Atlas bodybuilding course for like 40 years. Don't let someone kick sand in your face. No, get muscles there. There you take it, man. Oh yeah, you want to be He-Man? I get the chick.
I get the chick.
Anyways, here's the news of the mat world. And if you can zoom in there right at the top.
Yeah, I see it.
And just quickly, it says here, good-looking youngster who shows a lot of promise is Buddy Rogers. Buddy, whose real name is Dutch Rohde, started his mat career in Camden, New Jersey. Rogers is 24 years of age, 6 years of experience behind him. One of his matches in St. Louis drew 22,000 fans, and he holds the record for the Missouri Metropolis. During the summer of 1948, Buddy plans to make a trip to Australia and New Zealand, which he believes will be the promised land for him. Rogers is 6 feet tall, weighs 222, very fast, makes good use of his long arm reach and neck holds. Watch the name of Buddy Rogers. He should go a long way in wrestling. Okay. We'll watch.
Yeah, well, I mean, definitely weren't wrong about
They
that.
certainly weren't.
Definitely were not. So this is kind of cool. Let's go. Which one's first on here? That's this. Okay. So this is July 12th, 1962. champion Buddy Rogers versus Bruno Sammartino.
And that's in Toronto also, yeah. Okay.
Yeah, everything I show is from Toronto because
So
hence
the
the show.
the
Nature
change
Boys.
in 63, I can't remember the date when Rogers lost the belt to Bruno. I know it was 63. So this is like could be 6-8 months before then.
Yeah. It says here, where is it? Bruno Sammartino is a solid mass of muscle. He's heralded as the strongest man to come out of Italy since Julius Caesar. Blah, blah, blah. But last night at the Gardens against National Wrestling Alliance champion Buddy Rogers, the truth came out. Sammartino has an Achilles heel. In his head, he has no muscles on his head. Achilles heel in his head. I don't know. The grammar's horrible, or the photocopy, but I'll show it anyways, and then everybody can take a look at it. We'll probably post this in our Facebook group too. If anybody requests it, we'll post that also. Digging through my Terry Justice stuff, funny enough, and I found this. It's Bruno packs him in 14,000 at wrestling. August 2nd, 1962. It's the end came suddenly when Rogers tossed Bruno into the ropes, and twice Bruno came off the good counter hold. I'm trying to see who won. Sorry. But I'll show it first. There you go.
Okay.
So nice black and white. Again, if you missed anything, we're going to show it in the credits at the end of the show. Here we go. They call him Bruno the Great, and Bruno Sammartino was great last night. He actually won the World Mat title, but refused to accept the honor in a wild climax of an outstanding midsummer pro wrestling card at Maple Leaf Gardens. And get this, the attendance was near 14,000, the largest August wrestling crowd since Garibaldi and Londis battled almost 30 years ago.
Wow.
Huge.
Yeah. So
now,
they use that in a couple of places, that finish where they come off the ropes and Bruno accidentally gave Rogers a low headbutt.
Yeah.
And he wouldn't accept the title, even though Rogers could not continue.
Wow.
Which is just another way of, putting the champ over.
Yeah, not only that, it kind of makes him like, no, I'm an honorable champion kind of thing.
If I had the belt, I wouldn't have given. Yeah.
Yeah, right. It kind of says, oh well, It just says in there. It says in the quote, he says I can beat him and I can beat him in my favorite way, which is the fair way, right? Yeah. The only fair way I know is on the golf course, bud. I barely know that.
Can you hit a ball?
Yeah, I almost hit a guy last time by accident. I smashed the piss out of it, and it went 262 yards.
Okay.
Went, woo! My buddy's like, yo, bro, you better yell for it. I'm like, no. He's like, yeah, look. And then I'm like, oh, shit. Ah! Come on, man. I work on a golf course. I golf for free.
Yep.
Buddy Rogers, August 30th. What's that?
Which way do you shoot?
Left.
Okay.
Yeah. But my balls go right.
Which way do you dress?
I'd rather not wear anything. All right. August 30th, 1962. No TV, Wes. Later that month, they go again.
That means there's no TV. So if they used to, back in the days, if it was CBC TV that used to broadcast the wrestling in the mid-60s, they would show highlights of some of the preliminary matches.
Yeah.
And then they wouldn't show anything from the main event.
Wow, eh?
Yeah.
Hey, you got to pay to see, right?
Exactly.
Take advantage. Nowadays, it's a joke. Yeah, I don't even have to watch wrestling because anything that happens goes on social media as soon as it happens.
Yeah.
So I can be like, oh, okay, what's going on in Raw? Oh, yeah, I don't care about that. Oh, yeah, I want to watch that. I don't even have to watch the 3-hour show. I can watch the 45-second clip.
I was doing some work on the Facebook pages, and all this stuff started showing up with Ric Flair with a blue top on, bleeding. And I'm like, what the hell is this? Oh, it must be his match. It was like, it must have just happened. There was stuff posted.
Yeah. The last match ever, which we will talk about. But this again was sorry?
Do we have to?
Yeah, of course. NWA World Title, no contest. Some pretty big names on this card too, man. Yukon Eric, Fred Atkins, Bulldog Brower, Sweet Daddy Siki, Stan Stasiak, Billy Red Leons. Like, whatever. You guys old school pronunciation out of here.
Yeah.
Get out of here. Well, just so
how's that Stan Stasiak getting in the World Hall of Fame going?
Buddy, did you see apparently, oh, he's in the Legacy Hall. That don't count.
Yeah, I saw that.
This is sorry, go ahead.
Go.
This guy kills me. Wes, I still haven't seen that post on thing. I thought you were gonna get it trending.
Well, yeah, whatever. Tried for half a second.
Hey man, Triple H is in charge. You never know what can happen anymore.
Right.
This is probably a huge defining moment in Ontario wrestling history. January 24th, 1963, Wes, we have a title change. The NWA World Title match. Luthez beats Buddy Rogers.
Yes.
Let's put some imagine seeing that.
The word was that Fez hated Rogers, and didn't like his showmanship. But then I don't know. I can't say. This is just what I read. Luthez's book Hooker I've never read the whole book. I've just read excerpts, and he had some not nice things to say about a lot of stuff. But on the same note, when he started promoting in the 70s, he had girls, he had midgets, he had the fat guys, he had all sorts of stuff.
Anything to bring people in, right?
Yap. Yeah, and Fez and Rogers, come on. One fall match on Toronto, and we do have pictures of that will be coming up of Fez having his hand held up high in Maple Leaf Gardens, and you can clearly see and tell that it's Maple Leaf Gardens. If you ever been in the building, you clearly know what it is. Yeah,
really?
So cool, so cool.
Do you see all the Stanley Cup banners?
We don't have to put them up. Because we don't care. We don't care that we haven't won a Stanley Cup in over.
Dude, you know what's really funny? You and my dad were born in you were born in 58, right?
59.
59?
Yeah.
Bro, you haven't seen a cup win since you were 8 years old.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah. Keep dreaming, bud.
At least you know what it is.
Yeah, well, my dad's a year older than you, and he hasn't seen one since he was 9. So there you go. The math just adds up sometimes, folks.
It's so pathetic.
Wes, we got one more here. Best 2 out of 3, no curfew, world title, Luthez versus Buddy Rogers, and it's February 7th, 1963. This guy's bent over right now.
I'm looking for something. I can't find it right now. I was going to plug a book. Go ahead. Sorry.
Best 2 out of 3. August or February 7th, 1963, the rematch, I guess.
Yep. And
imagine seeing Thez though versus Buddy Rogers. Like, that is something, man. I'm sure Jim Conley has seen it.
That's why they call him old school.
Old school.
Jim's so old. Oh my God.
Let's wrap things up here, let's just talk Buddy Rogers now in Ontario real quick, Wes,
Yes.
as a whole. And you see that when he comes, it's always for, when he came to Ontario, it was always for a purpose. It was, he's the champion coming in, right?
He was an
He's
attraction.
fighting for the championship, right? He's an attraction. Whereas I think when we do the Ric Flair episode, we'll see a little difference.
Definitely, because well, we can correlate to that a lot better. But yes, Rogers was a touring champion. Ric Flair was too. But when Flair first started coming here, he wasn't a touring champion. He was just a guy that was coming up here with the regular thing because he wasn't NWA World Champion yet.
Yeah.
So, Rogers must have been so cool to see because he portrayed such a cocky, arrogant cheater. I was watching the title change between O'Connor and Fez from Chicago, and he grabs the mic. And these guys, they did their talking on the TV. They didn't do their talking at the arena. Hardly anybody ever grabbed the mic at the arena back in those days. It wasn't in vogue. People didn't do it. The mic after they announced that he was a winner, and he grabs the mic and he says, "It couldn't have happened to a nicer guy." And walks out of the ring, and it's like, you know what? 15,000 people want to kill you right now. You piece of shit, right? You arrogant slob, you bastard. And he personified that so good.
Do you think he had more heat in the Maple Leaf Gardens than the Sheik?
No way.
No way.
Because he didn't appear as much here, for one.
Mm-hmm.
He wasn't week after week after week after week. Probably better because after a while you just can't. The fans can't take that shitty finishes week after week after week. And you have to remember, Sheik was wrestling here for most part of his unbeaten streak every week, not every month. Not 2 weeks. Most of it was every week. So people can only take some. I'm surprised it lasted so long because people just would be so pissed off. How many guys are you going to bring in over the year to beat this guy? And no one can. Rogers, and he showed that he was beatable in Ontario. He was beatable in Toronto with Maple Leaf Gardens. So that gives him a little bit more credit. And
because he lost to Watson. He lost the belt to Thez. We just showed that.
Yeah, a lot more props to him because he would take one on the chin for the team or for the money or for the whatever.
Oh, definitely for the money. Money in the miles back then, right? So
Sheik wouldn't, yeah.
Yeah, no. Sheik had a percentage of the gate and stuff. So you would consider Buddy Rogers in the history of Ontario more of an attraction?
Yeah, 100%.
100%?
Because, like I said, I know, and I do have a book somewhere, it's written down, that he appeared in Cornwall when he was wrestling out of Montreal. And he was so big in Montreal, too, against Kowalski and against Yvon Robert.
He wrestled the Vachons?
Probably wrestled the Vachons, yeah. I'm pretty sure that they wrestled in Texas, too. They were both really big when Maurice Mad Dog Vachon went to Texas for the first time.
Yeah.
Yeah, Rogers didn't wrestle in Sudbury. Rogers didn't wrestle in
Oshawa.
Owen Sound or Oshawa or something. No, because he was too big of an attraction. So then, yes, that's, I think, what we're trying to get the point across is attraction.
Yeah, he went to the big arenas.
Only the big arenas, yeah.
Cool. Well, Wes, we showed it. We talked about it. We got to split this up. So that is the final part 1, the Nature Boys of Ontario part 1, Buddy Rogers episode wrapped up here. Before we go, we want to mention Grand River Tea.
Yeah, Grand River Tea, sponsor for us since the start, offering 15% discount at checkout. All their great products. Check them out at grandrivertea.com. We have, you have all that you've shown. I have about I don't even know how many pictures of Rogers of different things that I think are pertinent to this episode. So we'll be posting them up after the fact also. I got a great picture of Fez versus Rogers, a color picture. I got a lot of stuff
Yeah.
on there, so it's really exciting. Hopefully, everyone enjoys watching and looking at that after the episode, also in the credits.
Yeah. During the credits, just everything that we show during the show or we talk about and stuck on Wes's old phone because he refuses to get a good iPhone. No,
I've had an iPhone forever. I've had a Mac forever. I've had a Mac for like 30 years. Two computers in 30 years. Give me a break, Jesse.
So in my lifetime, you've only had two.
As opposed to how many PCs that you would have gone through.
I don't know. Who knows? I wasn't around for the computer debates back in the 90s.
Hasn't been 30 years, but it's been I've had a Mac for like 16 years.
Been about 40 years since that bowling trophy.
That's Lynn's mom's dart trophies.
Oh,
Spot.
damn it. Now it's not so funny. Thanks for making me feel like an asshole.
See,
Oh, Wes.
Sportsman of the Year, 1971. Two shutouts.
Don't lie. It's
two
a
shutouts in 8
participation.
games on the All-Star
Participation.
team. Traveling champion, goaltender of the universe.
Used to take his shots in the face, eh, Wes?
Oh man, I took too many shots in the face. One time, I'm playing, and I wasn't very good at the time. It was probably my first season in net, and I fell, and someone skated across my head. But they didn't skate right across they just like hit my head, and the edge of their skate took my mask off, and it whipping across the ring. My dad hops over the boards. He's like running across the ice. Oh my God, my son's head's been cut off, right? It was pretty funny.
Oh,
You okay?
wow.
You okay? What the hell's wrong? Nothing's wrong. I'm okay. Put the mask back on, face off.
You know what's not cut off? Our show. Why? Because the people who watch it are amazing, and we want to thank you all for watching today and subscribing to our NWCA podcast channel on YouTube. To find us on YouTube, just type in NWCA podcast. Boom. Click on that awesome logo. The same logo's on Wes's mug and his shirts.
Yeah.
So
also, one other thing I want to quickly say is that
Yeah.
I'm contemplating doing another magazine, short magazine video. So
Okay.
it would be awesome for someone to say, "Hey, do you got this or do you got that?" Like I got just a couple magazines. So it would be nice if someone gave us a tip. I will do another one of those flipping through the pages short videos because I really enjoyed it. That was fun.
Yeah. Also, to find us or message us or whatever, find us on Twitter at official NWCA1. You know, we have the official NWCA podcast group, which is the National Wrestling Clipping Alliance group. You go on there. On that group, we share clippings from all around the world. If you want to just solely focus on certain topics, we do our Ontario Wrestling Clippings of the Past page, which is solely on Ontario, Canada. So it's kind of like today. And the Wildman tribute page, all about Dave and the Wrestling Bears, Terrible Ted,
Smokey,
Smokey, Ginger.
Ben, yeah, whole pile of them.
Well, yeah. I always get, I knew Smokey.
The wrestling bear.
No, I wouldn't wrestle a bear even if you paid me, bud.
I don't even think I'd take it in at a show. I saw the bear once. It was like so
Dude, I saw a fucking turkey on the golf course, and I'm like, yo, get away from me. Like, it's a damn turkey, and I got the club up. I'm ready to go.
Turkeys are pretty big. They like human. I've talked to them before. They like human.
Oh, my God. Yeah.
So we're gonna have a ton of stuff to show everyone here, and it's been hopefully people enjoy this. I've just really enjoyed doing this, and we're gonna hit you right back there with number 2, part 2, as they say.
Yes, part 2 hopefully will be done and ready for next week. Part 2 is on the Nature Boy Ric Flair and his career, and there is a ton of stuff to cover and talk about and show. So thanks again to everybody who watches. Thanks to our boy Johnny G, always editing our show. Grand River Tea, our sponsor. And Wes, anything else to say, my friend?
Oh, that's it. Thank you, Johnny. Doing a great job. I love your work, as does everybody in our comments. They comes across.
Yeah. Again, oh yeah, shit. We've been getting feedback from you guys, constructive feedback too, which is great. Not just, oh, we love your show. Like, yeah, tell us what you don't like.
Yeah.
Right. So we could fix it. We're here for everybody. We're here to share and show, and we love what we do. And we'll see you next week. Nature Boy, Ric Flair, part 2 of the Nature Boys of Ontario.
Awesome. It's going to be so much fun.
I'm Jess.
I'm Wes.
And we are out of here. See you next week, guys.
Ciao for now.
I'm Jess.
And I'm Wes.
I'm Jess.
And I'm Wes.
We are the National Wrestling Clipping Alliance. It's the NWCA podcast.
I love doing this, and I love you in a, cool wrestling history kind of way.
Hey, easy, man.